Hello everybody, my name is Devren Cook, and in today's video on my channel I'm going to answer the question of whether or not you should buy or sell a home in fall of 2020. So the question of whether or not to buy or sell right now in Texas in 2020 is really a two-sided coin, because on one side you want to know, should I buy a house? On the other side there's also, should I sell a house? I'm going to show you actually why the answer is yes to both of those questions. Obviously, it's going to depend upon your situation. Now, the number one reason why it's a great time to buy a house in 2020 is because the interest rates are so low, historically low, lower than they've really ever been in the past. Now, I'm going to throw up some screenshots here of what the interest rates are doing right now, and you can see that the average 30-year fixed rate interest rate for a mortgage is going to be 2.96%. Now, when you compare and contrast that with how it has been historically, I believe since 1990, the average is about 8 or 9%, 8.5-ish, something like that. And when you compare that 8.5 to this 2.96 or roughly 3% interest rate, you're saving a massive amount of money. So you can see on this graph right here that there is actually a massive difference, especially if you see in the 1970s, 1980s, roughly 16.5% or so, down to 2019, we were at 4.5%, 4.25%, 4% if you have really good rates or really good credit score. Now we're just under 3%, and that is a massive difference. Now what I'll do is I'm going to show you the difference that an interest rate will make on a $300,000 house, which is roughly the average here in North Texas. If you look at it from a 4% interest rate just a year ago, in 2019, and you look at your mortgage payment, now this isn't including taxes or anything like that, but your mortgage payment would be $1,432. Now, you take off that 1% and all of a sudden $1,265. And if you also look at the total cost of the mortgage, because I'll show that here on the screen as well, you're looking at $455,000 as the total cost of the mortgage over 30 years for that 3% versus $515,000. So that's a massive difference. It's a difference of about $60,000 that you're saving over the life of your loan, and about $70 a month or so per month that you're saving on your payment. This is the number one reason why you should buy a house in 2020. You're going to be getting into a much nicer house with a much lower payment than you literally ever could have in the history of home sales. And so this is a huge deal for you. If you have at least a 580 credit score with 3.5% down, you can buy a house. If you have at least 620 credit score, you can get a conventional loan with 3% down, you can buy a house. Let me know if you have any questions below. I'm more than happy to help you out. Now, to tackle the second question of whether or not you should sell your home in 2020, also a terrific question. And I'm going to show you some more information here, and I'm going to show you what the market's doing in North Texas. Now, being a local real estate agent here, I have access to the actual data of what's going on in the market, not what Zillow says or what Realtor.com says, because they're typically out of date, but what is actually happening right now in the market. And I'll show you that here from the MLS. So you can see in this first screenshot here that the amount of months supply we have is about 2 months of inventory. Now what this means, this number, this 2 months of inventory, this means that if 2 months goes by from right now and nobody else decides to put a house on the market, but buyers are still out buying, that every single home 2 months from now will have been sold, and there will be no homes left on the market. How a market works with a buyer's market versus a seller's market, which you may have heard those terms, a 6 month supply is considered a neutral market, where even playing field. Anything over 6 months is considered a buyer's market, and we saw that in 2008, 2009, 2010 with the market crash. And anything below 6 months is considered a seller's market. Now, typically in a given year, we don't have more than just a few months where we have inventory under 4 months supply. As you can see here, we've had since the start of 2020 less than 3 months, and since really 2019, 2018 we've had less than 4 months supply. Right now we're down to 2 months supply. This is lower than it's ever been. And what this means for you as a seller is that if you're looking to sell your house, it's going to go quick. And I've got another slide I want to show you with that as well, is that the average days on market across the entire Metroplex, all price points, is 17 days. You're basically saying that you can put your house on the market, and 17 days from that point, it will be under contract and then going to be closed in about 30 days. So you're looking at putting your house on the market and being out of that house and onto your next one in about 45 days. That's a huge deal. Homes typically do not sell that fast. Now you might be thinking as a seller, well, I don't want to just give my house away. Nobody wants to give your house away. Well, guess what? There wouldn't be 2 months supply of inventory. There wouldn't be homes sitting on the market for only 17 days on average if there wasn't a lot of people actually willing to spend money to buy your house at market value. You can see here that the average list price of all homes across North Texas is about $290,000. That's higher than it's typically been, and it's only been going up since 2020. Because we had that significant low inventory, home values are just skyrocketing. And a lot of homes are going into multiple offers, which from the buy side is difficult because you have to write a really strong offer. In most cases, you're gonna have to go over list price, especially if there's any multiple offers. But as a seller, it's great news because you're most likely gonna get multiple offers if your realtor does a good job, they price appropriately, and they do everything that they need to. Contact me if you have any questions. And then if you look at this other slide here as well, on average, homes are selling for 98.5% of list price. That's a massive deal. Historically, that typically doesn't happen. We can see back in 2017 that happened a little bit. 2017 was also a super hot buyers or super hot sellers market. And we're seeing that again, where homes are selling in some neighborhoods, I kid you not, 5% over list price, even more. So if you have any questions, let me know. But in general, overall, it's a great time to buy a house because the interest rates are so low and you're saving money long term, even though you are paying top dollar. It's worth it to buy a house at a higher price rather than at a higher interest rate. And if you're a seller looking to sell, it's a great time because the home values are super high, homes are selling super fast, and you're gonna be able to get onto your next home. If you have any questions, let me know, leave me a comment down below. I'll make sure to respond, shoot me a message, whatever you wanna do. But anyway, I'll talk with you next time. Thanks.